born of the scandalous relationship. Then, do you believe in angels? See why this photo may turn you into a believer. You have an appointment with the next American Journal, Coast to Coast.
American Journal, tonight at 7.
Exclusive. The beautiful school teacher whose sentencing last week shocked America. Now, the student she had an affair with breaks his silence.
What are your feelings for Mary Kay now?
I love her. I love her with all my heart.
The boy, his mother, and the baby born of the scandalous relationship. And a newspaper photographer aims his camera at the setting sun.
I'm a skeptical news guy. This just takes you back a bit.
Today, Angel in the Clouds. Then, a CBS News anchor and a marriage proposal before a crowd of 73,000 cheering spectators. Plus, pandemonium at the mall.
Welcome, everyone, to American Journal. I'm Michelle Dabney Perez.
And I'm Charles Perez. The other side now to a very high-profile story. You're about to hear from the 14-year-old boy who had a baby with his teacher. It's a scandal that shocked America. But now the young teen is speaking out with his mom and his baby daughter by his side.
That baby's mom, former school teacher Mary Kay Letourneau, is serving her 6-month sentence. Many folks don't think that is long enough. But in their first interview since that sentencing, the boy and his mother have some rather surprising things to say as they talk with our Stacey Galandi.
I am satisfied that the defendant is amenable to community-based treatment.
With those words from the judge, Mary Kay Letourneau avoided spending the next 7 years in jail. This attractive school teacher who had sex with a 13-year-old student had been given a second chance.
It was wrong, and I am sorry.
It was an emotional end to a sensational story, stirring a national debate.
She may look all cute and pretty and everything. She is a criminal. She hurt this child.
I think the punishment was just.
For the first time since her sentencing, the teenage boy at the center of this scandal breaks his silence. Were you happy with Mary Kay's sentence?
Happy, relieved, wanted to cry, but couldn't.
He's now 14, a little shy, but otherwise a typical teenager. American Journal agreed to obscure his identity. What are your feelings for Mary Kay now?
I love her. I love her with all my heart. And there'll never, ever be another person like her.
By all accounts, Mary Kay was an exceptional teacher at this Seattle elementary school. But it was here that she also began her affair with a student in her 6th grade class. Mary Kay was 34. The boy was 13, just a year older than Mary Kay's eldest son.
She was just an innocent person, not looking around for boys to have sex with. And she was really just looking for love, and she just found love in the wrong place.
Incredibly, Mary Kay brought the boy to her home to have sex, the same home she shared with her husband and 4 children. She became pregnant with the boy's child, and in May, gave birth to a little girl they called Audrey. Since Mary Kay pleaded guilty to child rape in August, the boy's mother has been taking care of Audrey. At Mary Kay's sentencing, the boy's mother made an emotional appeal to the judge to spare Mary from more time in jail.
Mary's not a bad person. She's just a human being that made a terrible mistake.
To protect her family, she asked American Journal to mask her identity. Not only has she forgiven the teacher who committed the ultimate betrayal of trust, she also feels sorry for Mary Kay.
Seeing Mary that day and her crying out for help. Please. Please help me. I believe her. I mean, what does she have to lose? She's lost everything else.
Do you consider Mary Kay a member of your family?
I would say she is. She is, after all, the mother of my granddaughter.
For the past 3 months, this 30-something grandmother has been bringing 5-month-old Audrey to visit Mary Kay in jail. They have become friends now, but admits she was shocked when police told her in February about her son and his teacher.
I got the shock on Wednesday, my son having an affair with his teacher. And Friday I've been hit with another shock that he's going to be a father.
The boy is now in the 8th grade, and his homework includes learning firsthand how to be a parent. At age 14, he seems to take fatherhood seriously.
What does Audrey mean to you?
Audrey is my little angel, a princess. I love her a lot.
During her 3-year treatment program, Mary Kay may be allowed supervised visits with her baby daughter, Audrey. But someday, the boy and his mother hope they can raise Audrey together.
It'll be a while before she gets full custody of Audrey, but we'll always share Audrey.
Mary Kay may also get supervised visits with her 4 children, who are now living with their father, Steve, in Alaska. He was in court as his estranged wife was sentenced.
I can go home tonight and I can feel good about telling the children that their mom is not going to be in jail for 7 years.
But as Steve Letourneau prepared to leave Seattle for Alaska, could he ever see the day when he would forgive Mary Kay?
Forgiveness is something that it's going to take some time. It depends on Mary Kay.
I hope that he can find it in his heart to forgive Mary and to forgive my son and don't hate my granddaughter. And hopefully that someday his kids and my granddaughter will be able to live in unison.
But there are many who say Mary Kay deserves no sympathy. Detective Pat Maley arrested Mary Kay and, along with prosecutors, pushed for a lengthy jail sentence.
It's taken away the deterrent from future offenses from either teachers or anybody else in a superior or supervisory position.
But even now, the victim in this case says he doesn't feel like a victim. He still wears a ring Mary Kay gave him and says their affair was never about age.
You don't feel that you were raped?
No. Rape is a whole different thing from what she did, what we did.
His mother says when the time is right, they will tell Audrey how she came into this world.
I'll tell her that it was a love story. Because I think, it is a love story.
I would take my love for Mary. I would keep her love within my heart and just lock it up.
Mary Kay now says she still cannot explain why she threw away her career and family for the love of a teenage boy.
In order for anyone else to understand, Mary needs to understand first. And once Mary understands that, then she can explain it to the rest of us.
The judge has banned the teacher and the teenager from having any contact.
When we come back, a network TV...
As much as I do.
Plus, a baby with a 13-year-old boy. Today, she talks about the scandal for the first time. Plus, her life behind bars and her intimate letters to the child she made
For the first time since her sentencing.
That story next.
Welcome back, everyone. It is a story that continues to captivate and perplex many Americans. The teacher who gave birth to a 7th grader's baby. She's now in jail, but broke her silence to talk about the case with our Stacey Galandi.
I did something that I had no right to do, morally or legally.
Mary Kay Letourneau fell in love with one of her students. Now the Seattle school teacher is learning about life behind bars. Just 4 months ago, Mary Kay was living in this modest home in Seattle, surrounded by her 4 children. Her home today is the King County Jail, many miles away. Since Mary Kay pleaded guilty to child rape in August, she's been confined to a cramped cell like this one, 23 hours a day. She even showers alone because she's in protective custody.
She doesn't have contact with other inmates at all. She has all of her meals in her cell.
For the very first time since her sentencing, Mary Kay has spoken out. She called American Journal Collect from a payphone, her only link to the outside world.
Today I am still in great pain. Pain for my children's loss, being apart from me. My one hope is that this will be a time for my children to give their gift of love to their father.
In an exclusive telephone interview with American Journal, Letourneau described herself as an optimist.
I am trying to make the best use of my time here. I get letters from the community that really help. There's been actually a global outreach. Yesterday I received 17.
Ms. Letourneau, you are being granted the opportunity for treatment in the community rather than in prison.
Mary Kay told us she thinks her sentencing was fair, but she isn't pleased about the coverage of her case, calling it a double standard. She is happy, however, that the boy and his mother are raising baby Audrey, now 6 months old.
Knowing that she has the care that she has through her biological family has helped me quite a bit.
Mary Kay and her 13-year-old student began their affair about a year and a half before she landed here at the King County Detention Center. During that time, they wrote love letters to each other. We obtained one of those letters, and in it she says, "I do know that you'll love me forever. I'm afraid to love you as much as I do, because I know you need to love someone in a different way, in a way that we can't have. All of this love you have for me, you get to give it to someone someday. If there wasn't such a thing as family loyalty, tradition, peer pressure, and laws, we'd have a perfect love. Maybe it's too powerful for this world. Never say goodbye. Forever, love."
She was just an innocent person, not looking around for boys to have sex with.
The boy, his face obscured by darkness to keep his identity a secret, is the focus of other letters, too. Quote, "The baby will happen. I'm confused about when. Anything else is so far from possible. I know you want to get married someday, and maybe you need to be able to have a wedding, a beautiful bride, a great celebration."
It is a love story.
The boy's mother, who's giving Mary Kay moral support, used to bring Mary and the boy's baby for jailhouse visits.
Someday, her and I and the baby will be able to be together.
The court forbids Mary Kay to have any contact with the boy, his family, or even baby Audrey. Since she went to jail in August, she hasn't even seen her 4 older children. They now live in Alaska with their dad, Steve Letourneau.
Life as we once knew it is drastically changed.
Mary Kay has reached out to her children by phone and by mail, including this letter to her eldest son, who is just 1 year younger than the boy who fathered Audrey. Here's an excerpt. "My house is only a visiting place until the divorce is finished. Then it becomes a home to you all. That may take several months to all work out, but it will all work out. That is God's truth." And based on American Journal's conversation with Mary Kay, she'll stay strictly within the judge's ruling, telling us, "I am not one to fall into darkness, ever."
I give you my word that it will not happen again. Please. Please help me. Help us. Help us all.
We'll have more of that exclusive interview with Mary Kay Letourneau